Well, it goes without saying that in recent years, the country's witnessed numerous strong hurricanes, the last just last September, causing mass devastation. Many industries have been impacted from the issue, including real estate. Our Crystal Darling tells us more.
The Bahamas stands as one of the lowest-lying nations on the globe, receiving a direct hit from the climate change crisis. Despite this, the demand for luxury realty is ever present. President and CEO of HG Christie, John Christie, explains how Dorian's impact, especially in Abaco, has affected the local housing market.
So to come to buy in the Bahamas or to buy anywhere out of their home country, they're all a little bit of adventurous people. So they're not really afraid by things like that. And in fact, in places like Abaco, where there's been, it's a great opportunity. People are getting good deals now because, houses have been damaged by the storm, and some of the people were older. They've been there for 20, 30 years, and they're worried about, their health care and things like that. They can't really come to the islands as much. The hurricane comes, especially if that hurricane insurance, they get, they get their hurricane payout, and then they can reduce the price of the home by, significantly. And people get a deal on it. They fix it up the way they want. So it's actually been a spur. There's been a lot of sales in Abaco.
Christie says that within the housing market alone, climate change awareness and more eco-friendly building practices have become more popular.
Climate change is affecting it perhaps in a, I would say not in a real sense, but in a subjective sense, where people are asking, if you're buying a private island, they're asking now, how high is it? So they're thinking into the future. It's changing. It's a paradigm shift, but the traditional way of most Bahamians, when they buy a piece of land, is, oh, let's get a bulldozer, and they flatten every tree on it, and then they have to spend a lot of money putting trees back when they could have just kept the ones in there and been worked around it. So I think it's it's a paradigm shift that's working. It's a cost saving way of keeping your landscaping if you keep some of the trees that are there, especially the old like camalamies and things like that.
Christie adds that being energy sufficient is also growing in popularity.
The other thing that people are doing now is, if you're building from scratch, is maybe incorporating solar. And if you do that right, then you can incorporate it into your design of your home, and you can get a lot of energy, because BEC or BPL is now working with the dual meter, so that you can, if you make too much energy from the sun, you can feed it back into the grid. So so you don't really need the batteries and things that you did in the old days. So solar is much more usable now. But it's kind of hard to retrofit an old house and make it work. But if you're building from scratch, you can build things that your solar arrays that are built into the house. The Bahamas is a pretty progressive place in a lot of ways, and we're doing very well.
Crystal Darling, ZNS Network News.